Cowboys post-game show. It's live. It's here. You know who I am, James Espinosa, media man in Corpus Christi, Sunday Sports Rush, MIC Sports Network, News Talk KEYS. Let y'all guys get on in here for a couple minutes. I'm still reeling off of this Cowboys loss to the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles 28, Cowboys 23, in what was one of the more frustrating Cowboys games I think I've ever bared witness to. The Cowboys botched a golden opportunity at the end of that game. The Cowboys, I couldn't believe what was happening at the end of that game. The way Philadelphia was selling, the pass interference, the roughing the passer, Dallas golden opportunity at the end. And then, a penalty happens, you take a sack, a delay of game, ball gets thrown down to CeeDee Lamb, and he's 5 to 3 yards short. It's just a frustrating loss if you're a Dallas Cowboys fan. And I know people are going to say, well, the refs were very one-sided. The refs were this, the refs were that. Yeah, the Cowboys were they weren't in the refs' favor today, and I don't think the refs show bias, nothing like that. I mean, refs miss calls all the time. Refs miss calls that the Cowboys are in favor of. So I'm not going to play the referee blame game here. But I will acknowledge, though, that there were several penalties that could have been called in Dallas's favor that the referees probably did miss, especially that penalty to Gallup, the illegal hands to the face, probably should have been called in probably should have been called in that moment. Chuck says, you're not hoarse. I'm not even a Cowboys fan, but I can barely talk. Yeah, man, I was screaming a little bit, but I got to hold myself. I got to make sure I have a voice for the people after the game. It's Eagles 28, Cowboys 23. I thought Dak Prescott played a really great game. Did he hold on to the ball in a couple of key moments and take some sacks he shouldn't have? I think so. I think that's fair to say. Terrence Steele. Let's talk about Terrence Steele at right tackle. My God, dude. Terrence Steele is a sieve. Terrence Steele in pass protection is horrible. And he cost the Cowboys dearly tonight. Not blaming the entire game on Terrence Steele, but there was at least, by my count, 3 sacks that came off of the right side on Terrence Steele. Y'all guys correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought Terrence Steele tonight had probably one of the worst games I've ever seen him play, dating back to his rookie season. Let's get to some comments. If you got any comments, get them in. Eagles 28, Cowboys 23. What were your thoughts on the game? What do you think was the key factors that led to the Dallas loss? What did you see from Dallas that you thought was just absolutely abhorrent tonight? Some people are going to point out the game management at the end. The way Mike McCarthy handled that last few sequence of plays. The 4th and 8 in particular that went to Tolbert. A lot of people are questioning that call. Man coverage across the board. Why didn't you try to go to CeeDee Lamb? That's another thing. I thought the Cowboys were a little bit too slow at points. Didn't show enough urgency at times to get to the line of scrimmage when there was absolute dire need to get plays off in a quick and efficient manner. I thought the Cowboys tonight were sloppy. I thought some of those stupid-ass penalties they had tonight were warranted. Lining up in the neutral zone. Two penalties off of the kickoffs from Brandon Aubrey that put the Cowboys at the 40, or put the Eagles at the 40. A freaking 15-yard personal foul on the opening kickoff of the second half that put the Eagles there. And then the Eagles subsequently go to score a touchdown. The Cowboys are not absolved at all in what happened tonight, ladies and gentlemen. The Cowboys did not play a good game. The defense could not get off the field when it mattered most. The defense, the Eagles were having their way on 3rd downs. The Eagles were having their way on 4th downs. Going to look up the official stats for you here in a second, but those are my initial thoughts. I thought the offense played well. I thought the offense missed some key opportunities, and they shot themselves in the foot at the end with a costly sack taken by Dak Prescott and a couple of boneheaded penalties. So let's look at some of the team stats. How did the Cowboys defense do on 3rd and 4th downs? The Cowboys defense on 3rd down, 7 of 14. 2-2 on 4th down efficiency, so about 50% on and off the field. Cowboys defense did step up towards the end, 3 consecutive 3-and-out, so I'll give them that. I will give them that. If you have any comments, get them in. I'm going to try to get to everybody. Aiden says, I understand the refs were bad for y'all, but the game was right there for the boys. Philly tried their best to give that game away, and the Cowboys still botched it. They did. They lost in one of the most Cowboy fashions that you could ever imagine. Right there, right on the cusp of the Cowboys possibly winning the game. And let's just kind of go over that last sequence of events. Let's see. Cowboys got all the way down to the Philadelphia 11-yard line with 27 seconds left. 1st and 10. Then Dak Prescott is sacked for a loss of 11 yards. Then Dak Prescott pass incomplete to Jalen Tolbert. Then a freaking delay of game penalty, 5 yards enforced. Then, instead of spiking the ball, the Cowboys just say, F it, everybody go run go routes. Incomplete pass deep right to CeeDee Lamb. And then the last play of the game, the Cowboys, of course, completed to CeeDee Lamb, but he is downed at the Philadelphia 4. He actually fumbled, and it was recovered by Philadelphia, according to the official stats. So that's how the game ends. Just absolutely unbearable, absolutely gutting if you're a Cowboys fan. Aiden's in here again. Aiden says, Steele is a major issue for y'all, but y'all extended another injury-riddled player like Gallup. Steele and Gallup are weak links in the chain that are holding y'all back, and Dak tenses up too much in clutch moments. Steele and Gallup, I will agree, are weak links. I think Steele is very poor in pass protection, really good at run blocking. That's his strength. But you saw it tonight. He got his ass whooped several times in pass pro. Gallup made a couple of clean catches tonight, had one critical drop. I would like to see Tolbert take more of Gallup's playing time. That's just my honest opinion about Michael Gallup right now as compared to Jalen Tolbert. Dak, I mean, I don't know. It looked like he was on the verge of winning the game tonight, and then a sack happens, and then a penalty happens, delay of game, just horrible management all the way around from Mike McCarthy all the way down to Dak Prescott. You're the quarterback of the team. You got to know how much time's on the freaking play clock, right? Get the ball going. Get your snap count heard. Do something. Don't take a freaking delay of game right there that's going to mark you back 5. Don't take a sack in a critical moment. Yes, all those things can be said about Dak Prescott, and all those things can be true in criticism of Prescott. Steven's in here. Steven says, hey, brother, sending love. Hell of a game by your squad, and I do agree. Most of the penalties were BS, but I always expect the best from the Cowboys. We will see y'all again real soon. Hashtag fly, Eagles fly. Steven, of course, class act. I appreciate that, man. Been a long-time Eagles fan. You have. And, yeah, man, it was a great game. Just another, classic in the rivalry of Cowboys and Eagles. Penalties were a little bit BS. Let's get some more comments in here. If you got them in here, get them in. Sam's in here. Sam has a long one. I'm going to read a couple of little quick comments from him. Sam says the refs had a couple of bad balls, but that's football. You can keep the game close and allow the refs to determine the outcome. Dak played pretty good, but had a few bad plays that contributed to the team loss. I agree. A couple bad plays from Dak. The 2-point conversion alone hurt the chances of winning. The Schoonmaker fell TD. Yeah, talk about that sequence right there. Dak throws a nice dart on the run to Jalen Tolbert. Touchdown. Dak scrambles, goes for the 2-point conversion, trying to make it a close game. It would have made it what? Let's see. If he would have got the 2-point conversion, what would that have been? It would have made it a 3-point game. It remained a 5-point game in that moment. Critical error for Dak to step out. He was under duress. I agree with that, Sam. Thank you so much for getting in. Eric Garza's in here. Eric says, that false start on the 11, I'll take it because we would have failed horribly on the quarterback draw. Yeah, hey, good point right there. Good point. The quarterback draw looked like it was going nowhere. So when I was watching the game live and just a few moments ago, I thought that exact thing, Eric. I was thinking, well, that might have actually kind of worked out for the Cowboys because it looked like Dak was dead to rights when that play was blown dead. A couple of Eagles were already on him. So good hindsight point right there, Eric. I do agree with that. Fred says the Cowboys played the refs. I guess so. RJ, the run game is concerning. My guy, I've been the proponent of the Cowboys run game being a weakness for them since I don't even know, man. It's been like 3 years I've been saying this. Ever since Dan Quinn took over, the run game has not been, what I would like. Tonight, they were okay. 109 yards given up, 3.3 yards per rush, which is all right, but you got to really look at the micro details of some of those runs because some of those runs were critical runs that resulted in first downs or some pretty big positive yardage. So as a macro looking from the outside, the run game actually looks pretty decent. But when you actually microscope it, look at the micro of things, the run game does need a little bit of work. Chuck's in here. Chuck says Dak has to know where his right foot. He isn't the brightest person. That is why his stock dropped. He did something stupid on the beach. Okay. Chuck, okay. I mean, I guess, Chuck, are you just calling Dak dumb? I mean, I don't know. I don't agree with that, Chuck. He got in trouble in college. You know, shit happens when you're in college, right? It is what it is. I don't think that has anything to do with Dak Prescott playing football. But Chuck, I still love you. If you want to expound on that, please do. So Cowboys, man, what the hell is happening? What the hell is going on? They're now 5-3. They're going to play the Giants next weekend, and thank God that the Giants are just torn up. Unfortunate for Daniel Jones that he's hurt. He looks like he's out for the year. They got some kid named Tommy DeVito at quarterback. The Cowboys should be favored to beat the Giants, and I'll be at the game. Next week, I'm going to be at the game. I'll be in AT&T Stadium. I'll probably do a quick post-game from the stadium if I can. That'd be pretty badass. But I'll be at the game for that one, so I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, Eric, it was a delay of game, not false start. It's all good, bro. It was a penalty. I got you. Let's see. Dak. This is from Ralph. Ralph, big Cowboy fan. Ralph says Dak was good. He was not good enough. At some point, he has to find a way to win games like this. Lots of moving parts in the game, but we had the ball to win it, and he didn't get it done. At the end of the day, it's going to fall on the quarterback. Despite Dak Prescott throwing for 374 yards and 3 touchdowns, having no interceptions thrown, 29 of 44, it's going to fall on him. That's the nature of the business. I don't even know where to put the blame on Dak other than maybe he could have made a couple more plays. Maybe he could have hit a couple more guys. I thought he played pretty well. I just thought the Cowboys kind of shot themselves in the foot with penalties at the end. And Terrence Steele being saloon doors in a Western movie. Everybody gets a pass through Terrence Steele, apparently, in pass rush. But good take right there, Ralph. I appreciate you getting in. Adrian says Terrence Steele is trash. I agree. Everybody's in here, man. Everybody's in here. Coach Smith. Love you, Coach. Shout out to those Alpine Bucks. Coach says poor end of the game management. Quarterback draw, penalty, sack, penalty, McCarthy, hand over his head, hand over his face. Yeah, Coach, me and you were texting. Definitely don't agree with that ending sequence. You want to get the ball in your playmakers' hands. You want to feed your studs. You want to get the ball to 88. You want to get the ball to Cooks. You want to find these guys open against man coverage. You could have schemed something open if you're Mike McCarthy. I thought that last sequence there was very poorly drawn out by McCarthy. And that's the thing about Mike, about MM, is in my opinion, he's not the best in-game strategist. It's something that we've seen. It's something you've seen. It's something we've all noticed. I think Mike McCarthy struggles in in-game situations like that. Hell of a motivator. He gets the team ready to play. Probably a really great prep guy when it comes to coaching. Really great coach. I'm not taking nothing away, but it just seems like there's some really questionable moments with Mike McCarthy. And I got to agree with Coach Smith on that one. Erin Morgul is in here. Oh, Morgul, she says, LFG, Eagles emojis, fly, Eagles, fly. Morgul, I know you're an Eagles fan, and I know you're very happy to see me in despair right now. Eagles win 28-23 over the damn Dallas Cowboys. Luis is in here. Shout out to Luis. He says, with Slay out of the game and Steele, have lost a few one-on-ones already. Add extra protection and trust CD and Cooks against that secondary. Exactly. There could have been things done to help out Steele instead of leaving him on an island to go up against a defensive end that he's been struggling against all game. I agree with that, Luis. Agree with that. Aiden says, Chuck, I understood and slightly chuckled. Okay. Chuck says, hook up with me if you're coming up. I'm going to be there next week, Chuck. Let's set up some beers. I'm trying to go to Texas Live. Eric says, I'll be in Jerry World, Cowboys versus Philly. All right. It's going to be rocking. Yes, sir. Shout out to everybody in here. I appreciate y'all guys. So just to kind of wrap things up, I think a lot of us have some frustrations with tonight's game. The Cowboys lost 28-23. Crazy ass freaking game. The Eagles offensively were held to under 300 yards.
That's kind of crazy. Anytime you can hold an offense in the NFL to under 300 yards, you typically win those type of games. Eagles only had 183 passing yards. Eagles with 109 rushing yards. The Eagles, I mean, 3 of 3 in the red zone was Philadelphia. They scored when it mattered most. Jalen Hurts is a tough son of a bitch. I'll give him that. He's a tough son of a bitch. Had a great ball to who scored the touchdown? He had a great ball. Was it to damn, who was it? I got to look at it. Let me go back to the box score. Who scored the touchdown for the Eagles? Had a great ball. Looking at it right now to Devontae Smith, 29 yards. Yeah, that was it. Great ball to him. You know, he found A.J. Brown. Sirianni and company schemed Brown open on that one. And the Eagles win, man. I mean, it was gritty for them. It was a tough win for them. And quite frankly, they kind of dominated the second half. So you got to give credit where it's due to Philadelphia. That was just a hard-nosed, divisional, NFC East type of slugfest. It was dirty. It was ugly. It wasn't necessarily great football from either team. But in the end, the Eagles come out 28-23, and now they have roughly a 2.5 game lead over Dallas with 7 games to play. So the East looks like it belongs to Philadelphia right now, and the number 1 seed in the NFC looks like it belongs to Philadelphia, which is unfortunate because I thought this game was winnable for the Cowboys. I really did. I don't think the Eagles necessarily outplayed the Cowboys by a wide margin, but they did just enough, and the Cowboys were sloppy enough to shoot themselves in the foot at the end. So there we go. If you got any more comments, get them in. Jerry's in here. Jerry says they need to clean up the sloppy play. Wholeheartedly agree. 28-23, Philadelphia over Dallas. Shout out to CeeDee Lamb. He's continuing the ball. 11 receptions, 191 yards. Cowboys actually held A.J. Brown to under 125 receiving with just 66 receiving yards, but he still scored a touchdown, and that's kind of all that matters in the end. The Cowboys did register 3 sacks. The Eagles registered 5 sacks on the day. Both teams had 10 penalties. So in case you're wondering, oh man, the calls were so in favor of the Eagles, both teams had 10 penalties, man. It was an ugly game in that sense. Ugly game. Chuck's in here. Chuck says, I'm not frustrated. My Sooners, the Cyclones lost, and the Cowboys lost, but the Rangers won, so I'm good. Congratulations, Rangers fans, who are World Series champions. Chuck and everybody up there, congratulations. Jerry says, I still have hope. They look like they're improving. Dak is getting better. Let Dak be Dak. Yeah, Dak looks good when he's on the run. I saw Mina Kimes tweet out that Dak is the most accurate passer outside of the pocket at 73% this season. When Dak's using his legs, the offense is a little bit more dynamic. I agree with that. Let Dak be Dak. If you let Dak just stand in the pocket all day, he's good. If he uses his legs to try to bait defenses in, etc., he can be pretty outstanding in that regard. So, yeah, let Dak cook a little bit more. I agree with that one. But end of the day, 28-23, it's Eagles over the Cowboys. If you have any final thoughts, get them in here. I'm about to wrap this thing up. Next week, I'll be in Dallas. I'll be in D-Town. I'll be partying it up with Cowboy Nation. Cowboys, Giants, I'll be at AT&T. Probably do a post-game show maybe after the game, maybe walking out of the stadium. I don't know. I'm probably going to be several brewskis deep, if you catch my drift. I'm ready to pay $15 for beers. It's all good. I'll be at the game. That's what you do when you're at a Cowboys game. But yeah, so there we go. I'm going to wrap it up, y'all. I appreciate y'all watching. Appreciate y'all getting your comments in on the text line. Sorry. That's radio talk. The text line, right? That's from my radio show, 361-882-5397. Appreciate y'all guys. Y'all guys make this fun. One more. Edward says, yep, ugly game. Cowboys second half, not good. Wholeheartedly agree. Cowboys had a chance at the end. Shot themselves in the foot, and now the Eagles are where they are. They're where they are. One more for Sam. Sam says CeeDee Lamb balled out, but I don't understand why we didn't throw it up to him when he was one-on-one with Slay and chose to throw to Tolbert. We need to trust our top wide receiver to make plays in the big moments. That's exactly right, man. 4th and 8, run a little, route towards the sideline, little comeback from Tolbert, and it's a little bit high. CD is obviously going to the end zone, one-on-one. Throw it up. Let 88 go up and make a play. That's why you pay him to be your number one, right? To make a freaking play.
Questionable throw, questionable thought process there from Dak and from Mike McCarthy. CD wanted the ball. You know he does. You know CD's been wanting the ball. He called for the damn ball. He's been balling out as of late. Chuck, get me your number, man. I'll hit you up when I'm in Dallas. All right. I'm out. Love you guys. Eagles 28, Cowboys 23. Final score. Sub to my channel. YouTube, Sports Rush Media. YouTube, Sports Rush Media. Sub it. Would appreciate all the love. Radio shows on Sunday mornings, 9 a.m. You can download my podcast on Spotify. Sunday Sports Rush. Search that in case you miss it live. I'm dropping content every week, trying to build this thing up one step at a time. All right, guys. I love y'all. Have a great rest of your Sunday night. Final score. Eagles defeat the Cowboys 28-23. The Cowboys fall in a heartbreaker, a sloppy game, in a game that they probably should have won if they just had a cleaner game, if they just didn't shoot themselves in the foot. The Cowboys had this one. They could have won it, but they didn't. And that is just so Dallas Cowboys in the end. All right, I'm out, guys. Love y'all. Have a great rest of your Sunday night.